we know there's an issue because we saw it. Some of the controllers, a voltage collapse. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it.
All right, Scott, so what do we have here?
What we have here is the new and improved Dynamic RGB Controller. And so last year, we introduced the patented Dynamic RGB C9 Bulb we were working on for many years.
The product was phenomenal last year. I mean, it was brand new to the market when you guys introduced it. Everybody was excited about it, and we were too. And for the houses that had, let's say, I don't know, just a smaller house, we had no issues at all. And most of the houses we did were phenomenal. Customers loved it. We loved it. Handing out the remote was just exciting. But yes, there were a couple concerns, and you guys were great about receiving that feedback and making sure that it wouldn't be an issue this year.
And I appreciate your feedback, everyone else's feedback as well, to help us build this product. You know, that's why we added the other features and stuff into it, just listening to everyone too. A lot of the technology really herein lies in the controller,
right,
and not so much in the bulb. The bulb is just, you know, a function of what the controller tells it to do. And so we experienced last year when we introduced it through some of the controllers a voltage collapse. And so the voltage collapse was when somebody introduced a different voltage drop into the control box. You know, they're like, yeah, I gave it to my kid, and you know, and then we had like 3 or 4 bulbs went to white.
Right.
So what the bulb was saying is like, hey, I'm receiving a signal from the control box. I just don't know what to do. So it experienced a voltage collapse. And so what we did was we expanded the voltage range by plus or minus 20%.
Okay.
So this will eliminate 100% any type of voltage collapse. And so with that plus or minus 20% on the range now, you can hit this as fast as you want. As you see, you know, we won't experience another voltage collapse.
And I don't see any
nothing. Yeah.
Rogue bulb. We call them rogue bulbs.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like one would be
one with rogue
red and everything else would be green or something like that. And I don't know how many you have here, but this is quite a bit of bulbs, and I'm very excited to see this come out this season.
So again, as you said, some jobs you didn't experience it, and some you did, and so that's where we were a little bit confused. So it was mostly just in the control box. We kind of had a bad run, but with that, great, because now we have some new technology. If you want to hold that remote, and I'll kind of run through some of the features. What we did for the Dynamic RGB now is we added in other holidays. So we noticed, like, and got a lot of feedback with the original buttons that were up top, like jump, chase.
Yeah.
You could do that all individually, right? So why not add some fun holiday stuff in there? And so we'll demo on the lights in it itself. So we'll start with the Christmas button. So when you go up here into your functioning, you can easily hand the remote to the customer or yourself or whatever, and just start cycling through Christmas. So you push it once, you get red. Push the button again, you get green. Here's the cool part of it now as well. It's going to cycle through a 3-second flash red, flash green. And again, what we did was we also added the lock-in feature now on the 500-watt controller. So you can go in and say, these just don't go on a home. You know, you can put them in pine trees and load a lot of other areas up on your home. You can lock that in now. So you could have one tree over here locked in on Christmas on red and green. Push the button again. It's going to now fade. It's going to do the wave function on the red, and then it's going to start filtering through here on the wave function green. And again, we're not pushing any buttons. Set it to that. Lock your control box in. You know, you'll block the RF signal going to the box, and you can have your home or your tree. So I think what you can do on something like this is get now more creative. Differentiate yourself with just simple locking things in.
Yeah.
So you can continue to cycle through that, and you'll go through there. If you ever want to go back to individual controls after you've been running that top, again, you have to hit steady on the remote, and that'll give you access to all of the other individual colors. So to finish up on the controls, if you hold up the remote again, the middle section, so if you go out and maybe install the C9 bulbs a little bit earlier and have a better experience with your customers as well, we did a Halloween button on here as well. So you can filter through the Halloween colors. Again, not to go too long on it, but you just continue to push the button. This will do a flash purple, do the flash yellow, then...
So I love this because Eric and I were talking about this earlier. You know, if you're not trying to sell the Halloween lights as a separate service, you can sell this as, let us put your lights up in early October, and you have the added benefit of being able to utilize it for Halloween and go right into that. And the customer's not paying more, but now you can front load all that work into early October, and it's a win for everybody.
Yes, sir. This is all applicable on your 5mm's, any metal frame pieces you might have as well. So you can go out and decorate the tree and mix the 5mm in with the C9 bulbs, put them on 2 different controllers and have them flipping opposite. I think what this is going to really do now is add a lot of creativity, and it's simple and easy to use. You know, you don't have to overthink it. And one thing that I'm really excited about is under the candy button, we did a lot of different features under here. So now you can push the candy button once. It's going to filter your product through, you know, red, green, and then the pure white. Okay. You push the button again, and it's just going to go to a steady red, a steady pure white, and a steady blue.
I like that.
So now you can go out there. You know, we have Memorial Day and 4th of July and Labor Day. So you can, you know, maybe grab a few more jobs. And that's something you probably want to spend a lot of time doing, but it's nice to have that feature of the red, white, and blue. And then there's just some other different, you know, the red with flash white and all the other things up here in the candy button. And then, of course, you can't get away from the blue. Work on a lot of drive-through and walk-through displays to where they will always want to, they're always calling us like, how can we create a water effect? And so then we put the glacier button on the remote, and then you can cycle through this. Again, put 3 or 4 control boxes on 5mm, C9 bulbs, and have them run down, create your stream or your water effect. And then you can cycle through the glacier buttons here. And then as you'll see, you can do the flash. This will do a flash white, but then this one should cycle through like a blue and the teal and the pure white.
So I know because you put a lot of time and money into the R&D and getting this thing resolved, the bulbs had to go up in price, right?
Yes. So we actually took them down to $1 a bulb.
$1?
Yeah, $1 a bulb.
Oh my God.
I'm going with the $1 a bulb. It just rolls off, you know, $1 a bulb. It's kind of a little bit of thank you for the feedback. Not everyone experienced this.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's where we were kind of hitting a wall. We're like, hey, you know, JC, send us the bulbs back. So you would send us like 50 bulbs back, right? And make sure it's the ones that went rogue, right? We'd get them back here. We'd plug them into our control box and stuff. I'd be like, I can't get this thing to fail. I know I saw it on FaceTime with you, you know.
You take the car to the mechanic. Yeah. You're like, I hear this noise, and there's no noise. And like, everything's fine. And then you leave, and you hear the noise again.
Yeah. And so that's what we said. We said, we know there's an issue because we saw it. And we experienced 1 or 2 jobs here in Omaha as well. But it was just trying to dial in and figure out, what is this? And then we had the control boxes plus or minus 10%. And so now, again, like I said, we did a plus or minus 20%. I mean, you guys can spit colors out to me if you want. I had to hit steady because I had it on the Halloween function. I mean, blue, teal, multi, purple, not, you know. So I think we've talked enough about that. You know, we need to share it with a few other people. But that's why we're rolling out $1 a bulb. Okay. Go out, have some fun with it, have an experience with it. You know, the 500 watt ones and the 100 watt ones are now also water resistant. Okay. We made it water resistant. Where the water would get in was right here in the button itself. It didn't happen all the time, but in heavy rain times it did. And so we actually made it water resistant. But the neat thing about the control boxes now, because we have Dynamic RGB and Dynamic RGB WW, is you only have to, you know, stock one control box, 100 watt or 500 watt. And so let's say you order Dynamic RGB from us, you will receive your control box and your product under the Dynamic RGB mode. If you order Dynamic RGB WW from us, you receive your product and control box in the Dynamic RGB WW mode. But if I have my control box out there and I'm on and it was a WW and I'm on a Dynamic RGB product, all I have to do is hold down on the on button on my Dynamic RGB remote, and it'll switch the two between the two now.
That's simple.
Yeah, so simple. And then let's say you take your control box back to WW mode, grab your WW remote, hold down the on button, and the lights will send you a signal and flash.
Technology it's never changing. And if that was the biggest issue we had last year and resolved this year, I'm glad to be part of the team that started from the beginning and going to be using this year. So not only do we have $1 a bulb,
$1 a bulb,
23, but you can feel confident when you're selling the project with the new power box right here. And again, we have the option to install earlier, and if you like, even give the customer the free option because you're going to front load in October. They're going to get the value of it. You're going to be able to install earlier and just be able to front load all the installs into early October. Customers happy. They get the Halloween features. We're happy.
Yeah.
We get more customers for November. That's awesome. So we've had these lights up, the Dynamic RGB C9, for, I think they've been up for 2 months now, somewhere close to that, every single night. And I do not have any rogue bulbs I'm very happy with the results for what they did with the correction for the power supplies. And I mean, I'm just going through this remote right now, just switching through everything. And as you can see, no issues at all with any of the bulbs. And I'm feeling confident about being able to offer this product to our customers this year. Thank you. I appreciate all the work you guys are doing for the industry.
Yeah. Bucket Bulb, appreciate it. Thanks for spending your time with us.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.